My stuffed bell peppers turned out rad. My stuffed bell peppers turned out rad. For those of you who follow my home cooking group, I used sweet Italian sausage, spicy Italian sausage, a little bit of rice, some celery and carrots. I would put an onion in, but the onion I had, it was bad. So I just used those, and I had green, red, orange, and yellow. So I made 8 bell peppers. I stuffed them, and it turned out awesome. But I'm still having a hard time eating, so I only took one of them for me, and I still haven't been able to finish it. I'm working on it. I'm trying to finish it, but I have a lot of leftovers. So and my guest really liked it. So I always like it when I can make some food that my guests, like when I'm entertaining or hosting somebody, that they can like my food, because I try hard. I'm not like great at this stuff, but I try. So anyway, they turned out really well. But let's talk about this for a second. So we have been dealing for years. Um, it goes in cycles, but we've been dealing with this for years, of the DemExit side of politics, which is basically the Nick Brana branch of politics. But Nick Brana runs in parallel to Karen Burnell and her network, and in parallel to Gail McLaughlin and her network. And I'm sure I just know California politics really the best, but I do have some national shit going on. This has been going on for years. The entire time I've been in politics, which isn't all that long, 4.5 years, but I mean, it's been going on forever. And, I'm watching how people are reacting. So they've been coming after Jeff Campbell really hard, right? Because he has a national presence. He has a big Twitter following. He does really well for himself. So they've come after him pretty hard. They're coming after me, really hard. So they're harassing us. They're smearing us. They're using anti-Semitism against Jeff. They're coming at me with crazy. They're coming after me with masculine lesbian. They're coming after me with child abuser. It's just nonsense, so-called unsupported, baseless claims against me. They actually fucking inserted a criminal into my house, y'all. A disgusting, filthy, nasty ass criminal. They are lying to us. They are using deceptive measures to trick us into thinking that they're actually on our side and are going to be our allies. I've also seen in the last week that moles are getting inserted into private chats that I'm a part of. I've dropped out of a few of those chats over the last week because I can see that moles are getting inserted. I see what you guys are doing. They've got Lauren Steiner fucking hosting a Dem-Enter discussion. Lauren Steiner's been DemExit for fucking years. I already did a live stream on that. She's super tight with Dor, by the way, too. When I used to go to fundraisers at her house, he was at like 3 of them. He was there for like 3 of them. And she always used to brag about her relationship with Jimmy Dore. She used to brag about that shit all the time. The day after, okay. I've told this story before, but I do privacy hides every once in a while. The day after I published my expose article, okay, so leading up to this, the reason I wrote that article is because Tim Johnson was telling people, him and Fiorella Isabel, who they were having a relationship at the time, they were telling people that I was crazy and that I was in love with him and I felt like I was rejected. When literally what was happening is I was telling him You're being inappropriate. You're trying to date everybody, all of the female people in your who are volunteers. This is really dangerous, and we could have like harassment or sexual, some sort of sexual claims happen. This is a very unsafe situation, and I don't want to be a part of it because you have literally like put me in precarious situations that were uncomfortable. I'm not good with this anymore. And so instead, they decided to do a whisper campaign against me. So my response was I wrote an article exposing him. The night before I published that article, I was contacted by Lauren Steiner. I have these private messages. I can totally publish these private messages. I was contacted by Lauren Steiner, and she tried to discourage me from publishing that article. And then the very next day, she posted pictures of herself having lunch with Alan Dershowitz. Wow, what a coincidence. She was also at the time consulting for Tim Canova. And he got mentioned in the article, and I think that was actually the big fear. The big fear was what was going to be the exposure to Tim Canova in his campaign, right? That was the big fear. So it'd be very interesting to find out who paid for the bill of that consultation with Alan Dershowitz. That would be a really interesting tidbit to find out. Who paid for that? Who paid for that little consultation? They're constantly doing this, and I think the biggest problem is that we're finding out who within the progressive movement is gullible enough to believe their bullshit. That's the biggest problem that we're dealing with right now, is that we're finding out that like some of our allies are that gullible that they actually buy this bullshit. So they try to platform a Nazi as their keynote speaker. They have invited Tara Reid to speak. These are not Medicare for All experts. These are not reformed people. I think what they're showing us more and more right now is that they've been white supremacists the entire time. I mean, Lauren Steiner has done shows platforming TERFs. She has proven over and over again that she's transphobic. And you guys still give her credence. Why? Why? There was a chat, there was a thread on her page, I want to say like a year or two ago, where she was trying to compare the word TERF to the N-word. TERF, for those of you who don't know, stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. It means that you do not consider transgender women women, and that you're going to define women as people who were born with uteruses, even though we have a greater understanding of this now, and we understand that there's more going on with the gender spectrum. Folks, we cannot call ourselves progressives if we're going to constantly humor white supremacy. I'm not going to humor it. You shouldn't either. This is some nonsense right here. This is purposely dividing up the people who want Medicare for all. This is purposely dividing up the people who want a Green New Deal. This insensitivity, this intolerance, this nonsense, this disruption, this purposely working against us is dividing us all up. And folks, I'm sorry. There is nothing Lauren Steiner has done that can make up for the bullshit she's done with this DemExit movement. And no, you should stop platforming her. But also, I mean, how the hell is anybody out there working with anyone in her network. It's like midnight, y'all. Turn down your stereo, dude. Okay, so it's past curfew. Anyway, what was the other one? Oh yeah, the other one. Okay, so I was looking at various music videos to share with my house guests, and one of the videos I brought up was from the Music Man, that song about the gossipy ladies. Because every time I think of Lauren Steiner and her network of people that hang out with her and spread her whisper campaigns and her rumors and her bullshit, because that's what she does. She spreads rumors and bullshit, and she tries to take, just like ruin people with her gossipy crap. Octavia Tui, Margarita LaCombe, Betty Dumas. There's a lot of people out there that help her with her bullshit. There is a song from the Music Man about the gossipy women in town who come after, I think her name's Marion the Librarian, right? That's her name. I'll drop you the link because I shared it with my house guest tonight, and I was like, every time I hear anything about these crappy ass women who do their bullshit, that's the song I think of. It reminds me of that song every goddamn time. I'll drop it in the comments.